Okay, we're here with Karen Murray, who is a mother. She also is a professional in our community and an advocate, and she has an announcement to make. So, Karen, welcome. It's great to see you.
Hi.
How
Hi,
are
everybody.
you? So
I'm
tell
doing
me.
well. It's Sunday, raining a little bit, but it's okay. The nasty weather's so we're good.
We're good. So you have an announcement. What is your announcement today?
Well, if you ever think it goes well, I am running for the school committee in Pittsfield.
Congratulations.
Thank
Congratulations.
you.
I'm so excited. Karen, I've known you for a little while, and many people in the community have gotten to know you, and you've been very involved in the schools for some time, and you have a daughter who goes to the Pittsfield Public Schools. So tell me about your decision and why you're running for school committee.
Well, first of all, and the most important, I am a mom and I have Victoria that's 8 that goes to the Pittsfield Public Schools. I work for the schools part-time myself as a translator, Portuguese and Spanish for almost 5 years. So I know a lot of the how the school works and that I think the decision was because I want to run because I wanted to be an instrument to help with the parents, the teachers, the students, and to speak loud about all the issues and help to address them. I think that's the most important. It's my idea. Uh, I don't know a lot, but I'm open to learn, and I think basically that's the reason, the important reason why I want to do it.
Yeah, and I think, looking at any elected position, yeah, there's always a learning curve, and any newly elected official, they'll be learning about the role as you go along. But I think it's really important, because we've had this conversation about the diversity in our schools
Mhm.
and the different languages of kids in our schools. And I'm pretty certain that you would be the first school committee member that's trilingual, and maybe the first Latinx, Latina, to be a member of the school committee, which I think is pretty significant. You're from Brazil originally, yes?
Yes, from Brazil, São Paulo City, big, largest city in Brazil.
And you came here how long ago?
It's almost 10 years ago. In June, it'll be 10 years. I'm in the United States. I became American citizen in the beginning of 2018. And yeah, 10 years. Can you believe that?
Well, yeah, I
Can
can.
you?
I can. So tell me about that. You came to Pittsfield, and now, and of course, you in Brazil, you have degrees. You went to university. You have a bachelor's and a master's.
Yes, I have a bachelor's in letters um, and the MBA on financial and the banking.
And your daughter goes to Morningside School.
Yes.
So
And
tell me about your experience as a parent.
well, I used to be a single parent, and Victoria went through a lot. She, it's much better now, but she used to have a very bad behavior issues. And she started in high school. I used to work in a bank here in Pittsfield, and I was living in Lee at the time, and I had a school choice for Victoria. And I personally think that school wasn't a good fit, and it was very hard at the time to get the help, the appropriate help for her. And it was a huge, I would say, I fought a lot. Um, and what I don't want to talk about that right now, about that school in particular, but she went to Morningside. I was a little bit concerned because the Morningside people say, oh, that school is not so good. And for my surprise, I love the school. I got all the help she needed. They still helping her. She's an IP student because of the behavior. She's doing so much better now. I think at the age too, she's she's almost 9 now. Kids change, but the school has been amazing, and was a little bit of the fight before when we started, when she moved school to school, but was just great, everything they have been doing for her. And but I tell you something, it's not easy. That's one of the reasons that I think I had to fight a lot to get my daughter where she is now.
Mm.
And even about budget, I remember at the time they said about, oh, maybe you can hire somebody to be with your daughter all the time, you help her what she has now. But I remember listening to, oh, you don't have the money for this, we don't have the money to hire those people. And then you listen that they have the biggest budget in the state, then they put the money somewhere else, and they're telling you they don't have the money to do the service. But I was fighting. I have a good relationship with the schools, and they got the help. But what about the other parents that don't have the
And,
same?
and I think you're raising an outstanding point, because again, the challenges that parents have today and the challenges that children have today, with families that may not have the resources or have the knowledge on how to advocate for their kids. And so, it's about having a perspective from in my opinion, on the school committee of an actual parent. And we had this conversation before with Kate Lazan, who's also running for school committee. But I think that's really important, to have the parents' perspective actually as a member of the school committee. And you're talking about budgets, that is where real decisions are made at the school committee. So, when you're hearing, well, I'm sorry, we don't have the resources for your child. Well, why is that? Why is that the case? And so, so I think this is, I mean, I'm thrilled that you are running for a school committee, and being able to position as an advocate and what you've done in the community. And again, you are very much a resource to many English as a second language citizens in Pittsfield, even in your position in during your day job. You are someone who works for the Register of Motor Vehicles, and certainly customer service is a part of what you actually do every single day.
Yes, and it's sometimes, don't let's talk about it. At the army, be it
Let's just put it this way: there's a great skill set there. There's a great skill set there.
yeah, a lot of patience, and but yeah, that helps because and that, going back to the budget, when I was at the UMass doing the LIPI course, what a teacher taught me a lot about budget, the law. I think that's one of the part making me very interested about it, because again, when you listen, oh, I can't help your kid because I don't have the money to do so. But they had the money, they just didn't put the money where it was supposed to go.
Mhm.
That say, I don't want another parents listen to the same. That's frustrating because they have. So how can I fight not only for my kid but for somebody else? That is the
Right. And I think also, encouraging that atmosphere where the administration is encouraging the input not only from parents but also from teachers. And I think teachers are the individuals who are in the classrooms. They're working with the children face to face every day. And obviously with COVID, it's not as much face to face, but you know what I'm saying. And that the input has to come from teachers. And right now, there are those who believe that this administration, and I think there's good evidence, is a little bit more top down culture wise, as opposed to bubbling up from gathering everyone's perspective. So tell me about that a little bit. You've worked with a lot of teachers, you've worked with administration, to advocate for your daughter over time. I know you've worked with the past superintendent, Jake McCandless, over time, and you had a relationship with him as well. So,
very good.
So tell me about that dynamic.
Yeah, so that is the thing. when you go to the meetings, or even not an IP for my own kid, but for somebody else that I'm translating, because that's another thing people don't understand. When you're a translator, it's not about the language. You have to know the information to pass to the parent and that language. And what happened with the specific kid, it's what happens with everybody else. I just need to translate the issue to the parents and bring it the whatever the parents are thinking or they want it to the teachers or to the school, to the principal, or whoever is that taking care of. For my understanding and the working for the teachers, I see how they are great. They do the job, they are fighting, and they try the best to help the kids. But again, that doesn't come from them. Do you understand what I mean? Comes from way higher than they can decide what's going to happen or not. But as myself being there all the time, this talking about Victoria specifically, can you do this? Do you agree for this? Let's not trying to be annoying. Sorry, all the teachers that I have been talking to. I think I'm a pretty easy mom, and I understand it. I understand them a lot, but I know there are angry parents. The teachers they try to do a very good job, but sometimes they are tired as well. What they can do when I hear we don't have the money to do that, it wasn't from the teachers. Uh, it's as a parent, you know how things work. So might put your voice right there. That's what I can help. Talking to the teachers all the time about the issues, and that I know they can do everything, and they try to fight for that kid, for your kid. It's not up to them to do.
Yeah, and again, it goes back to the point I think of having a mom, having a parent as a member of that school committee, and also in addition, because we have Allison McGee, who's a teacher in another district, is a good solid perspective to have as well. And so I
Yeah,
think
because they
bringing.
they run the business. It's
Mhm.
like you have a company who is the one that knows what's going on, is who working there, who run the business. And that's important.
Mhm. Yeah, so I think in bringing that diversity, this is fantastic, and I've always said that members of the city council, school committee, what have you, we should have more parents on those bodies because right now, and I think for some time, there's been sort of an imbalance as to the perspectives, and where our priorities are. Everyone deserves representation, but to some degree, I think parents in our community have been underrepresented in elected government. So I think this is a very positive step forward. Karen, tell me about, you'll be sure taking out papers when they're available, and then what does that look like in your campaign? I know this is new to you, but what do you look forward to doing as you begin to get the word out?
Yeah, I haven't been thinking about it. It's kind of scare me a little bit. I go when it's open till I'm going to the city hall and get on my paperwork. And I haven't been talking to a few friends and a few colleagues, and they all say you should do it. That's good for you. Oh my gosh, you need a Brazilian there, a fighter. And I said, oh, okay, I'm going to do. Um, I receive a very good feedback from everybody. I'm a financial coach for a place here in Pittsfield, and I have been part of the woman to woman group in Lee. And those people, they already said, we'll be here for you, and they're so proud of you because you do need some Latina to starting to something, and you're capable to do so. So that's is very, very, very happy about it and very confident too. Even sometimes it scare me a little bit, but I don't know. I never participated in a campaign before, so whatever I have to do with the help of people around me, and let's do it.
I think you're going to have a lot of fun. That's what I think. Campaigns are fun.
It is. Oh, yeah. It's funny because in Brazil, I'm from a family of politicians. And one of my uncles, he is a city council in São Paulo now. And when I was a kid, and my mom would all go to the campaign and help him, but I mean, talk about a city with 12 millions of people. It's a little bit different. Yeah. And I remember going to all those, and it was fun as a kid. But when I started growing up, and I remember seeing him, so he lost many times, but after 20 years, he got it, and he's still there. He just got reelected. And I don't like his party, but I support my uncle anyway, because I know he's a good person, even I don't agree if it did,
Sure.
happen.
And the great thing about Pittsfield is that it's nonpartisan, and that's one of the great things I think about Pittsfield politics is that there are factions, no question about that. But the fact that you don't have to have a party next to your name,
I love that.
And I think that's one of the great things in Pittsfield, and should be always maintained.
Yeah, that's good, and that's why I can run, because if it was has some party behind that, this state would allow me to do that. So
at least in Brazil, but you can run here. Karen Murray, wow, what a great pleasure catching up with you. Congratulations on your decision to run for office, to run for school committee, and being an advocate, not only for your daughter, but for many others in the community, and ultimately as a school committee member, the entire city, because the schools are so vitally important to our community, for everyone, whether you have kids in schools or not.
Education comes first. That's is not. I always tell, when they tell my daughter, there are two things that's the most important things. It's health and education. You have those doing getting right, you have everything.
You got it. So Karen Murray, a great pleasure. I'll be seeing you down the road, and I'm sure we'll be talking again very soon.
Thank you.